This morning our gospel lesson is a brief story about Jesus healing the slave of a centurion. Even though it is a short story, I think there are some interesting points that maybe some of us need to hear. The centurion sent some elders to meet Jesus. They asked Jesus to help the centurion by healing his slave. They praised the centurion, telling Jesus that he is their benefactor, but he's actually the one who has built their synagogue. The elders make the argument that this centurion is worthy of Jesus' healing power. And how does Jesus respond? He immediately drops whatever he was doing and goes with them towards the centurion's home. Now think about that. Regardless of the words of praise the elders offer about this man, we can be sure that there are others who have a very different opinion of him. The man is a Gentile, after all, and Jesus, up to this point, focused his ministry on the house of Israel. And he's not just a Gentile. He's also a Roman soldier, one of those who are using the might of the sword to oppress Israel. And he's not just any Roman soldier. He's a centurion, one in charge of 100 other soldiers. Keep in mind that most likely some of Jesus' disciples had formerly been zealots, those who had plotted to overthrow the Roman oppression of Israel. And no doubt that they were shocked by Jesus immediately heading out to help this Gentile Roman centurion, who was an obvious enemy of all Israelites, regardless of how many synagogues he has built because of his guilty conscience. He is the enemy. Yet Jesus sets out immediately to heal his enemy's sick servant. That is rather amazing if you think about it. But then again, what did Jesus say about our enemies? Something like, love your enemies? It seems that Jesus didn't just talk the talk. He also walked the walk. But before Jesus arrives at the centurion's home, this soldier sends his friends with another message. Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. Therefore I did not presume to come to you, but only speak the word, and let my servant be healed. Lord, I am not worthy for you to come under my roof, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed. Those words might be familiar to some of you. If you have participated in a Catholic Mass, they are the words that are said before the congregation comes forward to receive Holy Communion. They're very similar to the prayer of humble access that we use in Rite 1 for the Holy Eucharist. It is a reminder that we are never worthy to receive the sacrament. But still, we ask for God's grace to heal our soul. So this centurion, the leader of armed soldiers in combat, humbles himself before Jesus. He declares that he is unworthy. And he's right. If Jesus was to cross the threshold of his home, of the centurion's home, if Jesus was to enter his house, he would have been declared unclean by all the other Jews. That simply was not allowed. So the centurion humbles himself. This is the second amazing thing about this brief story. To help you understand how amazing it really is, let me offer a description of a centurion from Vegetarius, a historian from the 5th century, who wrote a book called The Epitome of Military Science. A centurion is chosen for great strength and tall stature as a man who hurls spears and javelins skillfully and strongly. He has expert knowledge how to fight with a sword and rotate the shield, and has learned the whole art of armature. He is alert, sober, and agile, and more ready to do the things ordered of him than to speak, keeps his soldiers in training, makes them practice their arms, and sees that they are well clothed and shod, and that the arms are burnished and bright. So here we see a prime example of the best of the army of the Roman Empire, addressing Jesus as Lord and declaring that he is unworthy to have Jesus enter his home. And now Jesus is amazed. Not by the centurion's credentials presented by the elders, and not by the humbleness of the second message. No, Jesus is amazed by this part of the message. But only speak the word and let my servant be healed. For I also am a man set under authority, with soldiers under me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes. And to my slave, do this, and the slave does it. Jesus is amazed that this Gentile Roman centurion has such great faith in a Jewish rabbi whom he has never met. Jesus is amazed that he understands how authority works. No face-to-face words are needed. No healing touch is required. It's simply a matter of orders being issued. And Jesus quickly issues those orders, and the servant is healed. This long-distance healing reminds me of watching the faith healers on TV with my grandparents. My grandparents really liked to watch the televangelists when I was very young. And I remember one excited televangelist telling us that if we wanted God's healing, we had to get up out of our chairs and put our hands on the TV screen. I kid you not. That's really what he said. And yeah, I thought it was a little weird when I was 4 years old. I think it's a little weird right now. Needless to say, my grandparents and I did not get up and put our hands on the TV screen. But we humans have some strange ideas about how God's healing power works, don't we? I don't think it always takes fancy words. I don't think it always takes a healing touch to accomplish healing. Perhaps the best image I have for how it might work sometimes is Jean-Luc Picard saying very quietly but firmly, "Make it so." Yes, I had to work in Jean-Luc Picard because, as everyone knows, Kirk drools and Picard rules, right? Right? Some people at 8 o'clock disagree with me, just so you know. So where is the good news in this story? Worthiness has nothing to do with convincing God to heal your soul. You cannot earn God's grace. It is a free gift. And worthiness has nothing to do with begging for God to heal your soul. If you can be a Roman centurion, an enemy of Jesus, and have your prayers for healing answered, then no matter what our own feelings of unworthiness might be, they don't really matter to God at all. Have faith in God. Trust God to accept you as you are right now. And then pray for God to heal your soul. I know that God will answer.